Hi, everybody. I'm Fred Bruin with Remax Parkside Real Estate, and it is Monday, June 6th. I'd like to talk to you about the real estate market here in the North County and how I believe it is turned and transitioning back into a buyer's market. So let me share some screens that I have prepared. There we go. I'll get there. This is my graph reflecting the absorption rate in northern San Luis Obispo County. What the absorption rate is a number of available properties, how long it would take to sell them off if no other properties came on the market, and it's measured by months. So you can see over here the monthly level of inventory, and this would be 0 months, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. Anything under 6 months is considered a seller's market, 6 months worth of inventory. Between 6 and 7 months is considered a balanced market or a neutral market. And then 7 months or greater would be considered a buyer's market. You can see for a very long time, this goes back to, looks like January of 2015, we've been very much in a seller's market. Touched into a neutral market a couple of times, but mostly in the seller's market. You can see recently, very significantly so. But what I want to point out is we reached our tightest market at 1.5 months worth of inventory. That was back in January of this year. We only had 90 some odd fully available properties on the market on any given day at that point. But you can see, as the graph shows, we've had 5 continuous months of increase in the absorption rate to where we are at 2.9 at the end of May, or it should say June 1st. I take the reading the first of each month. So 2.9, if we were to continue at this pace, we would be in a neutral market by October. And, I don't find that too far off or too hard to believe. One of the other things that we watch is velocity, or the rate of sales, the number of sales versus, this is my velocity versus value. Value always follows the market. Velocity always leads the market. And this is annually from 1988 through last year. And you can see, for an example, the number of sales reached their high point in 2004 and started falling off through the 2006, but pricing didn't start falling off until 2006. When the market turned around and the number of sales started to improve in 2009, 2010, property values continued down and didn't turn around until 2011. So that's what I mean about velocity always leads the market. So we want to watch the number of sales because we know that pricing will follow. And here we go. This is my quarterly number of sales, and my estimate for the second quarter of 2022, we're about 2/3 of the way through the quarter, will be about 350 sales. Well, that sounds good, but in reality, that's a 29% decline from the second quarter of 2021. And to take that a step further, if I take the first 2 quarters of this year, we're at about 606 sales, which is 30% fewer than the first half of 2021. So the velocity is slowing, and that's evident by these hard numbers. Here's a little bit more on that. The first quarter of this year, we had 343 new listings come on the market. Well, that's 22% fewer new listings than we had the same quarter of last year. That's year over year. We had 256 solds, which we just looked at the previous graph there. 256 solds, that was 32% fewer sales than the first quarter of 2021, year over year, 32% fewer. What's troubling here is this 10% disparity, or 10-point disparity. Yes, new listings slowed, but new solds slowed even faster. And if this trend does appear to be continuing as we're moving into the second quarter, which was also reflected on the previous graph that we looked at. Now, if the number of solds through the first half of 2022, approximately 606, that would be 30% fewer sales than the first half of 2021. At this pace, we will be lucky to reach 1,500 sales in 2022, the lowest number since 2016. Another number that I watch is downward price adjustments. And I noticed this back before the 2008 bubble burst, actually several years before that. In 2005, I was feeling the market was getting hinky, and I went back and I looked to see how many downward price adjustments were reported. And for the month of April in 2005, there was only 14 downward price adjustments reported, and we had 1,200 homes on the market. So that was nothing. But very quickly back then, within 36 months, we were up to 550 downward price adjustments a month. So that clearly downward price adjustments could be a very early indicator of the market condition. I'm watching those numbers now. I look at it a little bit different way. I'm looking at how many listings as a percentage of the overall listings are realizing a downward price adjustment. And you can see it's been remaining pretty steady since 2006. But what I'm looking at initially or more closely is this most recent numbers. The trend line reflects the data all the way through, but you can see at the first of the year, we were down to very few listings realizing a downward price adjustment, and it is climbing. So it's not enough data here in this short period of time to make any conclusions, but we be watching this, and I'll share with you in a month or two where we're going with it. If it continues upward, that's just another indicator that the market is transitioning back into a buyer's market. My buyers and sellers spring guides are available free for the asking, and you can reach me here to claim your copy. So yes, the market is always in transition. It appears to me that this extremely strong seller's market is behind us. Demand seems to be waning. Lots of things affecting demand, like the rising interest rates on mortgages, and inflation is causing everyone to pull back a little bit. So yes, the market is in transition back towards a buyer's market, still a seller's market, but not nearly as tight as it was just a couple of short months ago. Okay, well, that's all I have for this one. Thank you for watching. And if you have any further interest or like to get notification of these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Fred Bruin Realtor. All right, thank you very much.